Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the War Diary. On the 387th day of the war, these are the main highlights of the day at 7 p.m. Beirut time. We begin with the situation in Lebanon. Calm prevailed in the southern suburbs of Beirut on Sunday. However, late last night, Israeli warplanes launched at least 8 intense airstrikes, only an hour after warning residents to evacuate residential buildings in Hadath and Burj al-Barajne. In southern Lebanon, Israeli warplanes struck a residential apartment in Harit Saida. According to the Public Health Emergency Operations Center of the Ministry of Health, the raid killed 8 people and wounded 25 others. Media claimed that the target was Hussein Fnish, a security official in Hezbollah. In the town of Yahmar al-Shaqif, air raids targeted homes, destroying them completely or partially, but no casualties were reported. Several towns in Bint Jbeil were subjected to a raid on Sunday afternoon, including Ainatha. It was also reported that an Israeli raid blocked the road between Ain Ebil and Bint Jbeil. In Nabati, Israel targeted the Maslach neighborhood, leading to the destruction of a house and heavy damage to residential buildings and shops. However, no casualties were reported. It also targeted the Al Midan neighborhood, with reports indicating that 6 people were killed, including a child. In the Bekaa, an Israeli drone targeted a car in the town of Housh Barada, west of Baalbek, and preliminary information reported 3 killed and several wounded, including a Lebanese army soldier. In response, Hezbollah announced it had attacked an Israeli military industry facility with drones southeast of Akka. According to Israeli media, the number of casualties was 4. The group also announced that it had targeted an Israeli infantry force in Hula, killing and wounding its members. They also targeted settlements including Malkiya, Kalada, and Zvulun. In addition, they claimed to have targeted a gathering of Israeli soldiers on the outskirts of the Lebanese town of Aitarun. As part of its warning to several northern settlements, Hezbollah fired a rocket at the settlement of Nahariya. On the other hand, the Israeli home front announced that sirens sounded in Margaliot after about 15 rockets were launched from Lebanon towards the upper and western Galilee. It also announced this afternoon that it had detected about 75 rockets fired from Lebanon in the latest barrage on the Galilee in northern Israel. Israel also announced that it had attacked Hezbollah weapons production and storage sites in the southern suburbs overnight and carried out raids on 120 targets across Lebanon in the past 24 hours. In Palestine, in the Gaza Strip specifically, at least 9 Palestinians, including a child, were killed on Sunday in an Israeli strike targeting a school-turned-shelter for displaced people near Gaza City in the El Shati refugee camp. The Asma school served as a refuge for many civilians fleeing the intense fighting in the Jabalia region and northern Gaza, where the Israeli army is currently conducting offensives against Hamas. These schools housing displaced civilians have already been targeted by strikes, with the Israeli army accusing Hamas of setting up its command centers there, an accusation the organization denies. The human toll since the start of the war at 7 p.m. Beirut time. The Lebanese Ministry of Health has reported that 2,653 were killed and 12,360 injured due to Israeli attacks on the country since October 8, 2023. On the Gaza side, the enclave's Ministry of Health has reported at least 42,924 Palestinians killed since October 7. On the diplomatic front, the head of Iranian diplomacy, Abbas Araghchi, asked the UN Security Council on Sunday to convene an emergency meeting to condemn the Israeli strikes that targeted military sites in Iran on Saturday. These strikes targeted missile installations and defense systems, resulting in the deaths of 4 Iranian soldiers. Israel justified the offensive as a response to ongoing attacks, including an Iranian missile fired on October 1, and actions by Tehran-backed groups such as Hamas and Hezbollah. In his letter to the Security Council, Araghchi stressed that Iran reserves the right to respond to this aggression, described as clear violation of Iranian sovereignty. That's it for today's recap. See you tomorrow for another roundup of the situation. Until then, stay connected on our website www.thisisbeirut.com.lb and on all our social media platforms.